Got a little update for the future of the preview shows. I was actually wrong last week. I told you guys we'd be back next Tuesday to preview April 10th, and that is not the case. Next week is actually going to be the 1 week, more than likely, of the year. We only do 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 tops weeks in the year where we take off from doing the preview show. Next week will be one of those weeks where we'll be at the beach, so there will be no preview show for the April 10th. I will be putting out my predictions for the entire card, probably a little bit, 2 or 3 days before the event happens, just to, COVID and everything, make sure there's no replacements. Speaking of, Darren Till had to pull out of his fight with Marvin Vettori. Kevin Holland on Twitter reached out and said, I'll take the fight. Vettori said, let's do it. So hopefully Kevin Holland will be stepping in for Darren Till in that fight. And we'll actually get a good main event on April 10th. But this week, there's no UFC. So there is Bellator 255 on Friday. There's iKON 6 on Friday. We're going to preview iKON 6. I'm going to go down, say some things about Bellator, and then we're going to preview the iKON card. Bellator 255, the main event will be the finale of the featherweight tournament. Patricio Ferry versus Emmanuel Sanchez, which is also a rematch. Sanchez losing the first fight, getting another shot here. Usman Nurmagomedov versus Mike Hamill. Neiman Gracie versus Jason Jackson. I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure that is a part of a welterweight tournament that they're doing. Jack May's coming in on short notice fighting Tyrell Fortune. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be Matt Mitrione taking on Fortune. CJ Hamilton's coming in replacing Jared Scoggins, taking on Magomedov. Roger Huerta is back. Seeing him, I can't imagine they'll have him fight first fight of the entire card, but that's where they had him placed as of this morning, going against Chris Gonzalez. The event will be held at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, which is pretty much the home of Bellator right now. But yeah, iKON 6 is coming up. A lot of people are coming out. I've just seen reports that Brock Weaver was released from the UFC. I think that's kind of weird because for the past month, he's been booked for this iKON 6 event. And, that's happening this week. So, reports come out 1 week before he has another fight that he's been released. I think it's a little weird. Maybe it's a media thing. Maybe it's just a promotion thing. It's better to promote. You hear his name in the media, and then he fights the next week, and he hears his name again, and he hears his name again. But I just thought it was weird timing. He was released, I would have to say, at least a month and a half ago, 2 months maybe. And they're just now coming out with stories about it. But he's going to be the main event going against Alexander Barhonia this Friday. Barhonia, I think it's kind of a layup, man. I hate to, down on fighters, local promotions. They got a lot of new guys coming in, giving a lot of opportunities to new guys. But Brock Weaver's 15-6. First of all, he's 6 foot tall. Barhonia is 5'8". So, what the fuck? He's not 0-1 he's 0-1 in iKON. So he's 11-4 total, going against 15-6 Brock Weaver. Weaver was cut from the UFC after going 0-2 or 1-2. Sorry, he won his debut. I think he won by disqualification though, didn't he? Didn't illegal knee or some shit? I don't know, I forget. But either way, I feel like it's kind of a layup. I'm pretty positive Brock Weaver's going to walk away with a win here. You go to the co-main event, you got Christopher Curtis taking on Juan Grano. Juan Grano has a slight height advantage, 6'1", going against Christopher Curtis' 5'10". Grano, though, is 7-5-1 to Christopher Curtis' 23-8. So 31 pro fights for Curtis, 13 pro fights for Grano. Grano is 0-1 in iKON. With his first fight, he tapped 2 strikes to Johnny Parsons, who is the kickboxing coach for Syndicate MMA, where Christopher Curtis trains. So his coach beat Grano in his last fight. Chris Curtis is on a 2-fight winning streak right now since his last PFL fight in 2019. Both of those wins coming in local promotions. Now he fights in another one. Christopher Curtis is a guy, man, where he's just had a string of bad luck. He's been on the top of the tops, and then he's come down and come down and come down. his PFL, he did so fucking amazing in PFL this past year, or 2019, sorry. And then he comes to the final tournament. He loses to Magomedov or whatever his name was, twice. So he loses the fight. Then he goes to the tournament, loses to him again, gets eliminated, retires actually after he loses. Then they say, "Hey man, Ray Cooper's or Magomed, the guy you just lost to, can't fight in the final, so we need you to come fight in the final." He comes out of retirement, fights in the final, gets knocked out by Ray Cooper. So great year all year long, and then the final kind of started to add up on him. So I feel really bad for him. He's a victim of circumstance, and I think with his power punching and his experience, he's when you say veteran of the sport, I think that Christopher Curtis, 100% is a veteran of the sport, and is just a complete mixed martial artist. So. I don't think he's got a layup in Grano, however you say his name. But because Grano has a size advantage on him, he's a great striker. But he lost to his coach. Game plan for him for however long in training camp. Now he's helping Chris Curtis do the same training camp. I'm sure Curtis was part of Parsons' training camp for Grano, so he's got a little bit of experience getting ready for Grano. I'm going to go Chris Curtis, Brock Weaver, and both of those. Isis Verbeck is back. She is fighting Dana Garcia. Garcia is making her professional debut. That's what I'm saying about the local promotions, kind of helping people out. Professional debut here, going against a 1-1 in MMA, Verbeck, but she is 2-2 in kickboxing and 2-2 in shoot boxing, which I didn't care to look at the difference between shoot boxing and kickboxing, but shoot box Brazil, I figured got something to do with maybe a combination of jiu-jitsu and fucking kickboxing. I don't know, but either way, she's her professional fighting career is at 10 now. She's at 10 fights, 2 of them being professional MMA. To where Garcia is making her professional debut. I think that's going to be pretty much of a layup too. They're really getting behind Isis Verbeck too at iKON. I think she's going to become one of the faces of the promotion. At least as of right now, they're promoting her pretty well, and she's only 1-1, but damn, they're getting behind her. So I think Verbeck pretty easily. Luis Campa is taking on Alvin Espinoza. Espinoza is 4-0. 100% finishing rate, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions, 1-0 in iKON. I'll be going against Luis Campa. Luis 3-2, 100% of his wins via knockout, and then his 2 losses, I think one is by submission, one's by decision. So I think this is when we talk about layups, I think this is a lot closer of a fight than any of the ones that we just went over. The Verbeck, Chris Curtis, Brock Weaver. I think this is probably the closest out of all of those fights. It's pretty back and forth fight. I think Alvin Espinoza is a prospect to be looked at for the next 3, 4, 5 years. He's going to be something big in MMA eventually. He's just got to get there. He's got to put in the work. He's got to get the experience. But keep your eyes out for Alvin Espinoza. Claudia Zamuris is taking on Andrea Vasquez. Vasquez making her pro debut. Zamuris 1-1. As a professional, both fights going decision. 1 win, 1 loss, of course. So, pretty new people there. The next, I think there's 2 other fights. I think there was like 7 fights total on the card. I didn't even look at the other 2 fights because they were like 1-0, 0-0, making pro debuts and shit. So, there really wasn't much to go into. I know this wasn't the longest show. I know I'm kind of springing it on you that we're not coming this week. Kind of fighting with Mr. fucking leaf blower over here. But yeah, so no next week. We won't be here for the 10th. I will put out my predictions. You check social medias. You'll see what my picks are, at least for the fights. Let me see if I can figure out what is after. I'm pretty sure it's a pay-per-view card. I'm also hearing they're not doing any more pay-per-views at the Apex, apparently. They're going to try to get away from. They're going to try to get away from fight nights at the Apex, but pay-per-views are no more at the Apex. They're going to Jacksonville for the next one. 261, Usman versus Masvidal 2. Will be in Jacksonville, full attendance, and then 261. 262 is Oliveira versus Chandler for the light heavyweight title. That will be in Houston at the Toyota Center. Again, full attendance. So it looks like, as far as the pay-per-views go, they're going to stick to trying to find venues with full attendance. Let's see. 17th, Whitaker versus Gaslam. Whitaker was supposed to fight Paulo Costa, but he's taking on Kevin Gaslam on short notice. I say short notice, probably like 2 or 3 weeks short notice. It's not that bad. Joe Mirashar, Prato Fabinsky. Chase Sherman's coming back versus Parker Porter. Tracy Cortez, Justine Kish. Anthony Bierchak versus Tony Gravely is a great fight. Natan Levy versus Austin Hubbard's a great fight. Jeremy Stevens is coming back against Dakar Close. Luis Pena versus Alexander Munoz. Yeah, it's going to be a great card, man. We'll be back. What's that? The 16th, 15th, 14th, the 13th. April 13th, we'll be back doing another preview show. You know, pay attention on social media. Be writing articles and shit in the meantime. So you guys will get your previews, and I'm doing a preview for the iKON on MMA Sucker this week, so that'll probably be tomorrow or Wednesday or tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be tomorrow because I think the event's on Friday, so I'll be putting that out tomorrow. Great chick coming up. If you have your choice, I would be split screen Bellator and iKON this weekend, because at least the last 2 fights, Chris Curtis and Brock Weaver, I'm not going to miss those 2 fights. And then, you got Neiman Gracie, Jason Jackson, CJ Davis, Magomedov, Jack May, Tyro Fortune, Usman Nurmagomedov. So it's always great to watch Nurmagomedov. And then, of course, the main event, Fury versus Sanchez. Both cards got extreme talent. I would think, I'm sorry, I'm not, I'm not meaning to put anybody down, but you would think with a week off from the UFC, 2 MMA events going on, 2 of the biggest ones, iKON and Bellator, you think you'd put it on a different day. I know, I guess you can't predict their calendar, and you're going to set your calendar months in advance, and you can't predict the UFC, so you're just going to want to stay off Saturdays altogether. But, I don't know, man. I think they've had it set like this with the week off for the UFC for at least a month or 2. If I was one of Bellator or iKON, I guess iKON, because Bellator is the bigger of the 2 promotions. So if I was iKON, man, I'd move straight to Saturday. There's no UFC that weekend. Everybody's going to be wanting to watch MMA. Bellator's already on Friday. Why fight with the only other event that's on that weekend? Why not just go the next day? You get all the viewers that would be watching the UFC. They don't got nothing to do on a Saturday. They flip. They see a fucking Fight Pass. Oh, fucking iKON's on. You get all the viewers that way. Now you kind of have to fight viewers with Bellator. And, there's people like me that say, yeah, fuck it, put it up on 2 TVs. But then there's a lot of people that just say, I know iKON's got some great fights, but it's Bellator. It's second best. No UFC when I watch Bellator. So, I don't know. If I ran the company, if I was that guy, I would try to put the events on a day where there's no other MMA. Especially if you're an iKON where you're kind of classified as a local promotion. I know they go to Mexico and they go, where else? They've been, I keep wanting to say Mississippi, but I don't think that's the state. I don't think the Bloxley Center, Mississippi, maybe Mississippi. But I don't know if they've been to Florida yet, but the guys that run it are mostly out of Florida, or the Dean Tool at least, and Roy Jones Jr. is out of Florida, but he works out of Vegas, California. But I still would consider it somewhat of a local promotion. So, when you're at that kind of level, you're on UFC Fight Pass. You don't have your own pay-per-view stream. You don't have your, you're not on ESPN, CBS, something like that. So you're gonna want to get eyeballs on you, and to do that, I would try at least to go on the day that there's absolutely no MMA, to get the most eyeballs on you as possible, because we say just eyeballs, but Chris Curtis is a guy that's got knockout power. Isis Veerbeck, they're hyping up big time. Brock Weaver's fought in the UFC. These are guys that are guys and women that people would want to put on the TV and see. So like, this would be the event that you'd be looking forward to get the most viewers. So I don't know. Done, rant over. No next week, guys, but week after, April 13th, I'll see you guys back here. Stay barbecued until then. Peace.